Hello, Joseph Benner here. This is an update for August 12th till 22, 2024. In this update, I will talk about the Jupiter-Mars conjunction that everybody is overthinking about. Everybody is affected to get into the mental gymnastics that we have not seen in this year until this transit. Because that's really what this transit is about. It's a complete shitfest because, once again, of course, in the year of karma 2024, we have another completely shitty transit. And this is a shitty transit because the ruler of the Gemini conjunction is in retrograde, Mercury. And this happens at the same time as we have just come out of the Mars-Uranus conjunction with Algol last month. Now, if you're thinking back in July, we already had a 2-week period around this Algol phenomena, which was all about being frozen, all about being in fear, living like you always have to watch your step, like the next thing that you do is going to blow everything up. And of course, as if that wasn't enough, we're now dealing with Mars, Jupiter in Gemini. As if that Uranus sitting on Algol, the most malefic, most worst situation you could possibly imagine for Uranus, because it's in the sign of detriment, because Uranus rules the sky and Taurus is the earth. It's in the position of Algol, which is the most malefic object that exists in astrology. And Uranus rules the nerves, because Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. Now we have Mercury in retrograde. Mercury in the sign of Leo, a sign of detriment again. And Mars, Jupiter in Gemini, where Jupiter is in detriment as well. So we have every single one of the planets that has anything to do with the mind, anything to do with the nerves, anything to do with anxiety, with overthinking, with stressing, with planning. Every motherfucking single one of them is in the worst position possible, in combination to each other. So it's almost like somebody has set up a table and thought, how can we poison the king? How can we make the dinner as unpalpable as possible? Just because. I don't know if we're having just a psychotic break, or if we're having an error in our judgment, or if we are treading where we shouldn't go, or if we have some kind of disagreement about what we should put into the cooking pot, where whatever you put in the pot doesn't even belong together. Like the ingredients you bought for the soup, half of it is for the soup and the other half was actually for a lasagna. And there's no fucking place in the soup. So what the fuck are we even cooking? Except garbage. Just a load of garbage. And are we once again in purgatory? Are we once again in the waiting room? Just hoping that this is also going to pass. That this is soon going to be over, so we can finally get back to normal. Well, it makes you wonder if such a thing as normal even exists in the year of 2024. Because it's been ongoing. I've talked about it in previous videos, that we've had non-stop shit shows since December 2023. We've had one ridiculous astrological alignment, one after another. We had Saturn square the Sun, with Mars square Pluto in the earlier July. We had Sun square Saturn at the start of the year in Pisces. We had Chiron conjunction a freaking solar eclipse in April, which marks a 6-month period, if you remember, of shit shows around Chiron themes. Chiron is the wounded healer. Chiron is where we feel so vulnerable, we would rather die than stay in that kind of a toxic situation. We want to avoid that toxicity. We want to get out of its way. Okay? And if you're thinking, what the fuck is my mind doing during this Jupiter-Mars Gemini conjunction, looking at transits that have been months ago, which are in fact connected to what you're experiencing right now. Believe it or not. Because all of these phenomena have something intrinsic in common. That they are about the desire to leave, to push you out of your body, to reject the body, to hate the body, to reject the earth, to leave, to self-isolate, to withdraw, to avoid, to compulsively get stuck, to not want to be here. All of these trends are all about that. Every single one of them. 2024. And, you know, how many months it's been since April? It's only been, well, halfway through. We have another 2 to 3 months until which Pluto will go direct. After it's gone into Capricorn, it will go out of Capricorn. Saturn will come back to being direct. At the end of the year, Neptune will go back to being direct. And only then will you be out of purgatory once more. Only wondering, when is the next prison going to happen? Because it seems like there's an abundance of opportunities that are completely outside of your control, which could put you in prison again. So are you going to walk on eggshells, as if you are in a double bind situation with a narcissist, as if you are walking around tripwires, hoping that you're not going to trigger the next disaster once all of this is over? Are you going to live your life in fear? Or are you going to say, you know what? Might as well go mayhem. Because you have two sides right now. One side says, I'm going to be in my shell, I'm going to not talk to people, not engage with people, just don't do anything, just wait. And the other is, you know what, let's blast it all, let's throw a party, like, pff, let's pop. And I think we need to find some kind of a middle ground. You know, how can we be mobile? How can we move? While this Mars-Jupiter is in a square with Saturn, and it's in the sign of movement, sign of Gemini, the sign of communication. But it seems like no matter what we're communicating, another tripwire is just about to set off. No matter what move you take, whatever step you go, there's just another disaster waiting to happen. Another accident, another car crash, another bomb to drop, another brick to fall from the sky out of nowhere to crash on your car or land you in the hospital because it crashed on you. And you won't even see it coming. It could be coming out of nowhere, suddenly. Because that is the nature of everything that's happening right now. That is the nature of Jupiter-Mars, because Mars is about accidents. It's a malefic. Accidents when it is conjunction one of the outer planets, whether it's Saturn, Uranus, or to a lesser degree, Jupiter. Because Jupiter is reckless driving. Jupiter is parking where you're not allowed to park. To go to places that are off limits. And then you have to make a choice. Do I stay or do I go? And chances are, a lot of people will stay stuck. And then people will have the courage to do something that's not good for them. You know, whether it's indulging in drugs, in distractions, just trying to turn it all off. Like a vampire in the Vampire Diaries. You know, turn off your emotions, just detach, ignore, forget. Because Gemini all of this mutable energy is combined with Saturn, Neptune in Pisces, retrograding still through that, all about mental health. But square between that conjunction that's going to happen on August 16 is happening with Saturn at 18 degrees of Pisces. So these signs, Pisces, Gemini, they're the signs of mental illness. Because there's the signs of when somebody is known to distract themselves so they don't have to experience the pain of going through the motions. So they don't have to make decisions. So they can be more passive. So they can be more avoidant in the behavior. And of course, we talked about this earlier when Mercury was forming a yacht at the start of this retrograde, when it was still in Virgo. Now, it's actually forming a yacht again. And it's also going to form yet another yacht at the end of August, when it goes back to being direct, when it returns to the sign of Virgo. It will go for a total of 3 times into a yacht position. Now, what does this remind you of? Perhaps a throwback to April, when we also had a Mercury retrograde during the Chiron eclipse, and Mercury was going conjunction Chiron 3 times. Now, we have a finger of God 3 times on Mercury. And this happens only with a short break. You know, right now, between August 13 and August 19, the yacht is going to go weaker, and Mercury is moving out of that position to go back into it once it goes direct at the end of August. It's just like, you know what, we're kind of in a shit show, but let's forget the shit show for a moment, and then get back to the shit show in the end of it, a little while later. It's almost like you're on a party, somebody's so drunk, they're losing consciousness, and you're glad they're losing consciousness because they're kind of a disaster waiting to happen. They're this really out of control person that is just like smashing everything in the room. So thank God he's finally unconscious. But you know, eventually he's gonna come back. So we're in that position right now. Now, this can apply to any situation. Take it as it resonates. Because astrology can apply to anything, right? You don't have to go back to a narcissist. You could just be getting infected with a disease, then recover, only to get infected again, or to lose your job, start a new job, only to lose the new job again. Whatever it is that is mentally triggering you, like, oh, why is this happening? You're going to get a break, and then it happens again. And when you know that this is happening in astrology, and you are an astrologer, and you're looking at the astrology, and you know this is what is going to happen, you're like, are you fucking kidding me? This is some kind of a joke? You set me up, you motherfucker. You set that bomb to go off 2 times. It's a double bomb. Like as if one bomb wasn't enough, and you're making me watch the timer as it's about to blow up. And there's nothing I can do about it. Is this some kind of a joke? You're telling me that all I have to do is to just sit through it and watch it go up in flames. Ironically, that could be very much how it feels. And of course, it depends on your situation. Maybe you can change this a little bit. You can use this anxiety to finally get some shit done. Finally fall through with what you've been resisting, you know. Like Mars is, I refer to Mars as the big de-armorer. Like he takes the armor off and he says, I am ready for battle. Bring it on, you know. And Jupiter is like, You know what? I'm going to be on the vanguard. I'm going to be right there at the front, bashing my head against the wall with my battering ram to smash that gate open, because we are about to take that armor off and go do that thing we're most afraid of doing. We don't have to travel. We can simply tell our abusive parent, abusive friend, abusive partner, or incompatible partner, you know what? It's not really working out. You may smash my table into pieces because I finally told you no. But you know what? Go ahead, smash it into pieces. At least it's finally over. You know, my survival is threatened. I could die. But at least I went through with it. Like, get it over, you know, just like when you're standing at the airport and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting. And then they say, we now need to scan you and we need to do this to your, to take your shampoos out of your bag and throw them into the bin so you can finally proceed. And you're like, you know what? Throw it all in. Scan me, motherfucker. Just get it over with. And you might as well rob my possessions from my bags. Just get me through it. Because I don't want to be stuck anymore. I don't want to sit here just watching the bomb in its timer to blow up. Because I know it's going to blow up. I know this is not really for me. This is not a situation I want to be in. Yeah? We're going to have many of the situations where we're like, how did I get here? I need to go somewhere else. This is not for me. And of course, Gemini is not known for being decisive. So don't expect it to be clear cut. Like, oh, this is what I should do. Oh, this is what I should do. It's more like, should I do this? Really? Like, you need to weigh the pros and cons. And you're just like, you're just being flaky. You're flaking on yourself because you're not willing to blow it up. You're not willing to commit. That's really the problem with mutable energy. Yeah, when you have all the mutable shit show, nobody's getting anything done here. Yet, the energy is at an all-time high. You may feel like you're like booming with energy, like it's time for action. But I don't know which action. Like, every action sucks. This sucks. Because Jupiter is in detriment. The vision that we have in our mind, it's just too many details. Too many variables. Too many complications. And it's just not ideal. It could go bad, it could go good, but chances are no matter what you take, it's bad. It's the typical Kafka trap in some ways. Yeah, it's a double-bind situation, which means the narcissist sets you up. Yeah, the narcissist says, if you go this way, you will get your table smashed. I will smash your computer. I will break your window. But at least I'll be gone. But if you go this way, I'll stay. I'll leave your window alone. You don't have to deal with the repairs of the finances. But I will abuse the shit out of you and I will terrorize your mind. So you will not get any rest. So stress number 1 or stress number 2? Which one will it be? The narcissist gives you 2 options. Both suck. So you freeze. So you don't have to take either. You just like sitting there. It's just a current situation. The soil, people don't know how this works in astrology. But people are starting to learn what astrology really means when you are entering a 6-month period during a solar eclipse in April. That is conjunction Chiron on the dot. On the dot, within less than half a degree. You know what that means if you're an astrologer. You know that 6-month period is going to be one of the worst astrological periods you could possibly imagine in terms of what a solar eclipse could be. And then all you can do is hope that the transits won't be as tragic as they actually are in this year, because they are fucking tragic, motherfucker, with that Algol, with that Gemini, with all those retrogrades. And somehow, it is quite interesting how Mercury seems to be retrograde at exactly those times, which could be the worst to go retrograde in. The worst, because Mercury went retrograde during the Chiron eclipse, and now Mercury goes retrograde during the Gemini transits. Couldn't you wait 2 weeks? Like, if you waited 2 weeks before going retrograde, this wouldn't even be half as bad. You do realize that, right? Not even half as bad. But no, we have to bring it all together. Remember, you have to choke on it, on the soup that is not for you, where you know the ingredients don't fit. This is just poo. And you know what Chiron did in the mythology? Chiron suicided. Because Chiron decided that the poison was too much. I can't get rid of it. I can't get out of here. Like, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks. What do I do? I'm in prison. So, take away my immortality, shoot me up to heaven, make me the constellation of Sagittarius, because I'm down to having that party up in the sky, because that party down here is not a party at all. It's a fucking hellhole. And that hellhole, well, if you haven't realized it by now, 2024 is definitely going to teach some of you that this is a hell realm. This realm is designed to enslave you, to entrap you, to make you think as if you're still in school, as if you're still a child. That it's just about lessons. It's just about learning, right? Be grateful for the abuse. As if I should kiss your feet for giving me as much of a shit show as you could possibly can. And I'm supposed to be grateful to my abuser, like I have Stockholm Syndrome, like this is still World War II, and I am so naive to really be convinced that this is anything other than a hell realm. Like this is anything other than a bad deal. Because I'm not here on a vacation. When Chiron died, he turned into the sign of vacation, Sagittarius. Well, the vacation is up there. It's not down here. And that's why often Sagittarians, just like Geminians, are very much out of the body. They're not even connected to what's happening down here. They're like, up in the sky, up in the clouds, in their idealism, their optimism, malignant optimism. So don't fall for it. Because Jupiter is going to test you, to tempt you with Mars, to be a little bit too optimistic about that fight, about that battle, as you go into war. And you're thinking, I have already won. And then a brick is smashing against your skull, and now you're unconscious on the ground and you're wondering, what happened? I thought I won. This was not supposed to happen. I was supposed to win this fight. It was supposed to be over. Don't fall for it. Don't think that just because you get a little break, that the next shit show isn't right around the corner. And that's 2024 in a nutshell. And that's what this trend is going to show you. You have this entire period from August 10 to August 22. You basically have a 2-week period of just seeing, just observing every single day what's going to happen next. Who's going to bother me? Who's going to ram into me? Who's going to bring a box of chocolates that's actually filled with poison, and I'm about to go down if I pick those chocolates and I take one too many. Right? If you indulge in one too many, if you overstay your welcome, things are not going to work out for you. But Jupiter gives that malignant optimism. So that's kind of what you want to look out for, because that is what this Jupiter-Mars conjunction is about, Jupiter, everybody thinks, oh, victory. Oh, expansion. Oh, my Mars is finally getting what it wants. If you're really so naive to think that Jupiter is all about sunshine and rainbows, you're going to be tragically disappointed. Because Jupiter inflates the ego. It expands whatever it touches. Whatever it touches. Mars and Gemini, the Gemini mind, the Gemini thinking, the Gemini debating, the Gemini arguing. It's like every single day, somebody has some shit to say to your face. Some gossip is afoot. Somebody is sending you the evil eye. Somebody says something and you're like, did you really just say that to my face? Should I be worried? Should I be defensive? Am I at war? Or is this just in my mind? Am I just imagining things? Am I projecting? Is this a fucking illusion? Is my mind playing tricks on me? Because I'm not sure. There's a square with Saturn and Pisces. Saturn and Pisces says, be careful. Those illusions might be sneaking up on you. But is the illusion that you're too optimistic and you're thinking nothing is happening? Or is the illusion that you're too pessimistic? How do you know? Details, facts. What is happening? Tell me. Give me the information. Even astrologers right now could be looking into the astrology. They're just trying to get an answer. What's happening? Am I at risk? Am I in danger? Am I in danger? Is my car breaking down? Am I getting cancer? Like, you're wondering, what the fuck? You're taking every detail out of proportion. Like, every small encounter, you're like, could this be my last? Is this the end? And you're just like, is this the quiet before the storm? And I'm just heading into mayhem. You're heading into destruction. And you're wondering if this is Wormtongue from Lord of the Rings whispering into your ear. Or if this is your discernment, if this is your judgment, if this is your red pill. And you're finally coming back to your senses and your perception is clear. Or am I being fooled once more? What's happening? That is really this fucking transit in a nutshell. Yeah, don't even get me started. So if you're going insane already and you're wondering, Georgios, why am I going nuts? You know exactly why. What else is in the sky? What else is happening in this month? So the sun, still in Leo, right? This is supposed to be Leo season, really. Feels like fucking Saturn season or something. So sun is conjunction Vesta in Leo. Because Vesta is an asteroid that is at 24 degrees of Leo. Vesta is about the commitment, the devotion to the self, to the truth, to express your heart, to just take charge somehow. But how is this going to happen? And really, with all these transits, it's like, Yeah. Whether you're devoted to a romantic encounter. Yeah, it depends really where Vesta is in your chart, what house it occupies, whether you're devoted to a spiritual study of some kind. So just try to shed the light on what the hell is going on right now. You know? Like, are you crazy? Is your mind in order? Is your eyes seeing things right? That's what Vesta on the Sun is about. And right now, Mercury is also conjunction Medusa. Yeah, Medusa. Because Medusa is about the freeze response. Like, oh shit. That is a dangerous situation. And I know it's just bad. It's just bad. So something bad is afoot. Yeah, afoot, like you're catching a disease, but you don't know if you're really sick or what's happening. Like if you're just imagining things. Medusa is that kind of paranoia, like, do they hate me? Is this really the evil eye that I'm seeing here, that I'm perceiving here? Mercury retrograde kind of overthinking, like, is this really as bad as it seems? I don't know. While Mercury is still at 1 degrees of Virgo. Yeah, it's about to go, it's in a detriment sign in Leo. But in Virgo, it's still making that yacht. Yeah, on August 12th until August 14, maybe 15, maybe 16, until really that Jupiter-Mars conjunction hits you, that yacht is going to be felt, yeah? And you're like, you know what? I can't figure this out. I can't stop thinking about it. I can't stop worrying. The answer is just not there. I don't see a way out. That's what Mercury is. It can be in travel. Like, am I going there or am I not going? It can be mobility. Do I walk that road or that road? Do I eat this meal or that meal? Is this poison? Is this infectious? Is this spreading and I'm contagious now? What's happening? And somehow, my doctor's appointment is being blocked. I can't even check on my doctor if I'm really sick. I don't know what's happening. That's Mercury yacht. Or it can be somebody is fucking gaslighting me. Like a cluster B type, an avoidant shit show is telling me that I'm crazy, that I'm black and white thinking, that I'm splitting, and I'm in my trauma, and I'm being stupid. I need help. I need to go to therapy. This gaslighting? Like it's all in my mind and I'm just imagining, but actually it's real. You just can't be sure. And that frightens you. That disturbs you. That lack of certainty. That lack of clarity. And of course, then you come to astrology and you're like, astrology? Are you going to tell me what's going on? Well, it can tell you just like the tarot cards. But it's not just in your mind. This is actually happening. This is real. But you never know for certain. You never know for certain until this shit transit is over. And it's going to take another week, at least. And when it goes back, when it goes direct. So you're just looking at it like, do you know this puppet in this horror movie, like it moves its head? I'm kind of thinking of that, yeah. These trends are a fucking disaster, yeah. I'm not going to stop saying that because it is true. And on top of the fact that this Mercury retrograde is making a yacht with Saturn retrograde and Pluto retrograde. It's a triple retrograde yacht. Interesting, yeah? But anyways, moving on. Venus is in Virgo. Venus is making an opposition with Saturn. And that opposition is like, I thought we could be friends. I thought we could do this together. But actually, I need to make a boundary. Because, you need to sort yourself out first. Sort yourself out and then we talk. Because your baggage is not my baggage. Because in the Pisces Virgo axis, it's the axis of service. We want to help. We want to heal. But the help is blocked. We have to say no because it's not really your problem. It's like if somebody needs saving, let them go. Like really, the codependent victim-savior dynamic is what I'm thinking about it here. But can be many things. Can be also blockage in finances. Thinking like, the money is just not coming in. Why is it not coming in? Why am I not attracting the clientele I'm looking for? Why am I feeling so lazy? I want to work. I want to get things done, but I don't really want to. Saturn is like, it's like you have to, but you won't. And then you have to make a boundary. You have to say no. You close your doors. It's over. Done. Like I'm moving on. Anyways, it's not a love and light party what we're having here. While I'm making this video during a moon in Scorpio transit. Moon in Scorpio. Now, moon in Scorpio is making a connection with Pallas, Athena. Making you very defensive, making you feel more strategic, like you're thinking about the future. What's going to happen next? How is this trend going to affect me? And then when the moon goes into Sagittarius on the 14th, well, it's going to make an opposition with Mars-Jupiter around the 16th. Somebody's definitely traveling, definitely moving around. You may feel like very restless, like you need to get out of your routine. You need to do something different, experiment, do something risky, perhaps. Just be careful on August 16. Risky behaviors, because everybody is in risky behavior mode right now. And what happens if everybody is trying to do something risky at the same time? An accident is just brewing. So, yeah. In any case, Lilith is approaching the South Node. Juno is getting closer to Black Moon Lilith at 4 degrees of Libra. It's now exactly conjunction my moon in my natal chart. And as it approaches, the South Node approaches Juno. Yeah, it's just like, I'm sorry, girl, but I don't think we're in this together anymore. We're not in this together unless you take accountability and you get that shit sorted. It's this kind of a distancing transit, like separation. Like there can be some breakups, disagreements at this time. Somebody's being blocked. Somebody's being thrown to the wolves. And you're like, like in Game of Thrones, and you're watching that guy being eaten by the dogs, and you're like, I'm sorry, but I need to leave you behind. Bye. And then, as the dogs are feasting on the flesh, you're moving on. Basically. Yeah, that's the Lilith in a nutshell in Libra. With Juno in the South Node. Because it's in our relationship. Right? We're detaching from that person. We're saying, you know what, I have to be rational now. I have to be reasonable. I have to be on the dot. Because Libra is about doing what's right. It's about doing what's right for me, what's right for you, what's fair, what's rational, what's logical. I'm sorry, but your emotions don't really matter. So moving on. Yeah, Lilith is just, some people could even be thinking about polyamory. I had somebody make a post about it in an astrology group asking, hey, this Lilith Libra transit, is this why my partner wants to have a threesome now? Well, it's for you to figure out. I'm not going to answer that. In any case, this is the astrology update for August 12th till 22, 2024. If you liked this astrology update, please leave a like and subscribe. If you're interested in getting a personal reading, you know where to find me. I'm all about the messenger on Facebook, email. You got my information. Check out my services down below in the description. And you can reach me for a personal reading at any given time. With that being said, thanks so much for watching. See you in the next video.